Good morning, Miss Paddock.
Good morning.
My name is Ryan, and I'm going to be your OTA for the day. Is it okay with you if I get some measurements?
Sure.
Wonderful. So the first measurement I need for your hand is for MCP flexion. For this one, I want you to turn your hand up on the side. Very good. All right, and then I'm going to get you to just make a fist for me. Very good. For this measurement for MCP flexion, my fulcrum is going to be on the MP joint. My proximal arm will run on the midline of the metacarpal, and my distal arm will be on the proximal phalanx. Normal is 0 to 90. And Miss Paddock has 0 to 70 degrees. The muscles used for manual muscle testing for MCP flexion is the lumbricals, the flexor digitorum profundus, and the flexor digitorum superficialis. Now, Miss Paddock, I want you to place your hand flat, please. Thank you. And now we're going to do abduction. So for this one, all I want you to do is simply bring that finger out, that first finger out as far as you can. Okay, very good. For this measurement, my fulcrum, once again, is going to be on the MP joint. My proximal arm will run midline with the metacarpal, and my distal arm will be on the midline of the proximal phalanx. I'm going to stabilize the lumbricals, and I'm going to ask Miss Paddock if she will come out. Very good. Normal is 0 to 20. And Miss Paddock has 0 to 14 degrees. Very good. The muscles used for abduction are the dorsal interossei and the abductor digiti minimi. Now, once again, Miss Paddock, if you will, make a fist for me. And I'm going to go one knuckle down, okay? For this one, I'm going to be measuring PIP flexion. And for this measurement, my fulcrum is going to be on the PIP joint. My proximal arm will run on the midline of the proximal phalanx. And my distal arm will be on the midline of the middle phalanx. Normal for PIP flexion is 0 to 100. And Miss Paddock has right at 100 degrees of PIP flexion. The muscles used for PIP flexion is the flexor digitorum profundus and the flexor digitorum superficialis. Now we will move down to the last knuckle there, Miss Paddock. And this will be DIP flexion. For DIP flexion, the fulcrum goes on the DIP joint. My proximal arm will run on the midline of the middle phalanx, and the distal arm will run on the midline of the distal phalanx. Normal is 0 to 90. Miss Paddock does not have very much. She has about 0 to 60 degrees. Very good. The muscle used in DIP flexion is the flexor digitorum profundus. Now we have one more, Miss Paddock. If you will, lay your hand flat like that for me. And all I'm going to ask you to do is simply bring your thumb in towards your pinky. Very good. Very good. This is called thumb flexion, thumb MP flexion. So for this one, my measurement, I'm going to place the fulcrum on the MCP joint. My proximal arm will run along the midline of the metacarpal, and my distal arm will run along the midline of the proximal phalanx. Normal is 0 to 50. Miss Paddock is a little hyperextended, and she has about 55 degrees. The muscle used for manual muscle testing is the flexor pollicis brevis.